Oh, hello. Today you are getting a video I was not planning on making, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. You were supposed to be getting a Halloween costume making vlog for me today that is still in progress, but let's just say I may be a little bit behind. Never, maybe. So because of that, we're gonna have to go to plan B. And luckily, inspiration struck because I saw Meg with Books, and Ashley from Ashley's Little Library both did their iconic, amazing Goodreads Mystery Thriller Award prediction video. Yes, apparently, I just need you guys to strap in. This is like a lot of what is on my mind in terms of reading these days, is getting ready for this, because I know it's going to be a monumental undertaking, so I hope you guys enjoy that. But I saw that and was like, oh my gosh, I want to make something like this, because I've already, for the vlog of where I'm reading all of the nominees, I already filmed like an initial thoughts, talked about my big list of things that I have my eye on that I think could make it. But I kind of like the idea of forcing myself to actually make a prediction, and I think that this may help me focus some of my pre-reading efforts. So we're going to come up with my prediction for top 20, top 10. Maybe I'll say who I think is gonna win based on that, but I don't know. We'll see. But I'm definitely gonna do a little bit of a top 20, top 10 prediction. And we can also include this in the vlog to see how right I end up being. But if you want a more technical breakdown of what is considered for eligibility on Goodreads Choice Award nominees every year, I definitely recommend watching Ashley's video, because she is into the details, honey. Like, she is counting up the number of reviews and the average rating and like the date it was published to make sure it's eligible. I have vibes. So let me screen share and show you guys the big list that I have been tracking throughout the year, because I think you'll understand the basis of the list that I am going to call from, because I've done pre-work during the year to have a narrowed down list of, well, don't hold me to this, but a list of, 48 books. I have narrowed down on my radar list to 48 books. So I'm not going to look up anything else. I'm just going to go from this and trust that Past Mara did a decent job of deciding what went on here. Hopefully there's no dupes. But if we find one, then that'll just mean I get an extra slot of things to add to my prediction slide for the vlog. Okay, so these are the predictions. And you can see that I have been going by book clubs and Buzzy, so I've been keeping an eye on Reese's Book Club and Book of the Month, as well as things that I've just heard about. I've heard people discussing them, talking about them. You know, they seem like they have a lot of kind of street appeal. That's one category. And the other I just called big authors and sequels. These are a lot of authors who have been nominated before. These are sequels to ongoing series that are popular. It's not even the book so much that I think might make it. It's more the author or just its place within a fandom that I think could end up helping it qualify. So that was my methodology that I've been running all year. So now let's duplicate this to, we'll make a top 20, and a top 10. So the X factor here is always that there are some that are so clear are going to make the list. All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham absolutely will. Like, that is going to be there. None of this is true. I'm going to say for sure will be there. Let's see. What other ones am I pretty sure? I think The Soulmate, as long as the rating, I'm not looking at the ratings, okay? So caveat here, if I'm wrong that some of these are disqualified because of their ratings, I'm not going to look up if the ratings disqualify them. I may know a couple of them that are going to get disqualified based on their rating, but I don't remember The Soulmate having a low rating. I've actually heard pretty good things about that one. So it was in the Book of the Month Club box, and Sally Hepworth is always super popular. Okay, The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. Yes. I feel like I need to move these around. Oh, I'm already destroying the symmetry. Okay, I feel like this is chaotic. Sorry. Okay, let me refocus. What I was saying is that there are some of these that are so clearly going to make the top 20, at least, if not the top 10. But then every year, Goodreads has like a couple of wild cards that they throw in, and that is where the top 20 definition is going to get tough. Because, you know, there's a couple that I have an idea about, like the Bandit Queens, I have an intuition might be one of these, but I don't know. That's going to be where some of the like agonizing on this list is going to come in, because some of these, there's just the like surprise factor that I feel like Goodreads always throws us for a loop on. So we'll see how well I do with that kind of like last 5 of the top 20 and how accurate I get. Okay, so let's stop being quite this chaotic and start actually eliminating things. Okay, The Writing Retreat is one of the books that I happen to know off the top of my head. The rating is too low for it to make it, which is a damn shame because I love that book, but I'm not surprised. It was very polarizing. So we'll delete this because I know that that one can't make it. Okay, I'm trying to think of, let's start with maybe a couple of the other ones that I'm very confident are going to make it. So I'm very confident The Housemaid's Secret is going to make it, because The Housemaid was nominated last year and the sequel has been very popular as well. A ton of people have read it. So I'm pretty confident that's going to make it. In terms of big name authors, I'm very confident All the Sinners Bleed is going to make it. Okay, let's move some of these out of the way. All the Sinners Bleed is going to make it because Goodreads really likes S.A. Cosby. This has been a very well-received book. Ruth Ware... Ooh, okay. Let's see, who else are shoo-ins here? I think Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Martyrs. I've seen that on a lot of Goodreads Best of the Year lists. It's been very popular. I'm very confident it's gonna make the top 20. Last Word, I wanna put on, but it's not a shoo-in, so let's table it for now. Just move a few of these around. Okay, let's talk about some of the big name authors and what I think about the likelihood of them making it. That might be a good place to go. There is a Robert Galbraith novel this year. Even if it's in the top 20, I ain't reading it, so I'm just gonna not even manifest that that's gonna happen. So I think that will not be there. So the Riley Sager, this is one I'm kind of on the bubble with, because Riley Sager, I think, will make the Goodreads Choice Award. I have seen some people talk about this, though, as horror. But because he traditionally is put into mystery thriller, I think for the purposes of this list, I am going to assume that they're going to continue to do that. However, Holly by Stephen King. Oh God, you guys, if you've watched this, you know. If you watch this channel, you know my struggles here. I have seen Goodreads consistently putting Holly on horror lists this year rather than mystery thriller. So even though the past books in the series have been nominated in mystery thriller, I do think If It Bleeds last year was in horror, and I similarly just don't want to manifest that this is going to happen. So I am going to take a leap of faith and say that Holly is not going to be there, because Holly is going to get put on the horror list. I need you to believe this for me, guys. Like, let's all say that that is what is going to happen. Okay, other big authors. So Ruth Ware, I feel like, is usually pretty consistently on the list, but 0 Days has not been her most popular or well-received book. I liked but didn't love it. I'm gonna put it over here for now, but it's one that I'm not super confident on. Alice Feeney, I think, is gonna make the top 20, which I'm not happy about because I DNF'd the only one of them that I was liking okay. but I just don't think I'm going to enjoy it. I don't like Alice Feeney's writing. One of my all-time least favorite books is by her. So I don't want her to be there, but I am pretty sure she will be. Okay, that's 10 so far. Okay. Any other of the big names that I'm pretty sure are gonna be there? I don't think What Have We Done is gonna make it this year, so I'll eliminate that. I've heard the Sarah Pekkanen wasn't very good. It's not my kind of book, so we'll get rid of that. Oh, What Lies in the Woods. Okay, this is one I'm pretty sure is going to be in the top 20. It was a Book of the Month Club pick, and it has a lot of ratings, so I think it will be there. I'm going to say I think The Last Word is going to be there because it was a Book of the Month Club pick, and because it's a divisive book, but I do think it has a good chance of being there. Okay, so that is my initial, am I confident in this? Are there any other ones I'm pretty sure are gonna be there? No, okay. So now I think we start culling. I think that is where we are in the process of things that I think I can eliminate. So I haven't seen The Murder Game picking up traction. That was at the beginning of the year. But I don't know. If I'm remembering rightly, this one about the murderous nun has gotten very mixed reviews. So my guess is that it's too lowly rated at this point, so I'm going to get rid of that. The House in the Pines, I want to say I heard either Ashley or Meg mention that it was too lowly rated to be added. It was a Reese's Book Club pick, which is why I had it on here, but we'll get rid of that. I'm going to say Happiness Falls. I'm going to get rid of it just because I think that it's on the bubble between mystery and lit fic, so I'm just going to assume that if it makes a list, it'll be in the general fiction. And similarly for Kate Morton. This I put in here because Goodreads listed it as a mystery, like a buzziest mystery of the year. But I think it's going to get, if it makes the Goodreads Choice Awards, which I do think it will because Kate Morton's a pretty big author, I think it'll be in historical fiction and not in mystery. So we'll get rid of that. The Last Party was a Book of the Month Club pick, but I just haven't heard people talking about it, so we'll ditch that. Ooh, I want Just Another Missing Person to make it. And it was a Book of the Month Club option, but we'll return to that one. Okay, let's talk about Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone and the sequel. So when I looked this one up, it had a US published date of January 2023, from what I could tell. But both Meg and Ashley said that it wasn't eligible. So I'm conflicted because I think if it is eligible, it will definitely be there. But I'm just not sure. Okay, because I also put the sequel on here. Okay, I'm going to put these two together. We'll come back to that. That might be one piece of research I do during this video, because if this is eligible, I think it will be there. And if it's not, I'm not sure that this will have had enough time to get enough traction to make the list. So I don't know. We'll come back to that. Jane Harper's a big author, but I haven't heard a lot about this one, but she's been nominated so many times before. I'm going to put this as a maybe. I'm also going to put Dark Corners as a maybe because I'm hoping it makes it. I really liked it, A, and B, I've already read it, so that would be great. I do think that it had a pretty good reception, so yeah, I don't know. Golden Spoon, I think, could be one of those, like, out of, like, kind of more traditional mystery picks that they throw in. So perhaps I'm going to guess The Leftover Woman by Jean Kwok. I think that this one is more like women's fiction or general fiction, so I'm going to guess that it isn't going to make this list and might make a different one. I have some questions for you. I think should be general fiction, but they keep putting it on these lit fic lists, or the mystery lists. I've seen it on a Goodreads mystery list several times, so I'm going to put that in the maybe. The Only Survivors was a Book of the Month Club pick, and Megan Miranda is very popular. I think we can get rid of this Meg Abbott one. I've not seen much about it since I added it. Okay, yeah. And then I've got two other Frida McFadden ones on here. The Coworker and Ward D. But the Coworker, I don't know. I'm going to just assume that it's just one from this author. So I'm just going to get rid of those. I'm going to make the assumption just The Housemaid's Secret is going to make it. There was a Karen Slaughter. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Okay, I'll put it up here. I'm not decided yet. Same for the Mary Kupika. I know that she's really popular, but I just haven't heard that much about that book in particular. Okay, The Mystery Guest. This is an interesting one. So this is the sequel to last year's winner, and it feels like it should make this list, except that I think it's not going to come out until like right before. So I think I'm gonna make the decision / thought that it's just not gonna have enough time to end up being eligible. So I'm gonna get rid of that one. Okay, Bandit Queens and Drowning. Both of these I've seen on a ton of Goodreads lists. And for that reason, it makes me think that they could be the sort of like wild card picks. So I'm going to keep that in the mix. Lareith and White's The Maid's Diary, I have seen so much good buzz for. It has a lot of ratings, if I'm remembering rightly, and it has a pretty high rating average. So I think it's a pretty good contender. Midnight is the Darkest Hour, I think is a possibility, but I just haven't seen it go really much of anywhere, so I'm going to take that off. I'm going to say same with The Quiet Tenant. Same with The Intern. Okay, so I am hoping that Finlay Donovan Jumps the Gun is on here because I am pre-reading in this series, because I would have bet every cent in my checking account that the previous book had been nominated in this category, and Meg pointed out to me that it has not been. So I hope this makes it because I have been pre-reading, but you know what? Let's let that be a lovely surprise / add-on and not bet that it's going to, because the last two weren't, even though I would have sworn to you that they were. Okay. What else? Okay, this is Book of the Month, so these are both maybes, I think. So was this... Bright Young Women has been buzzy recently, so let's keep that in the mix. I'm gonna guess that the Louise Penny, probably not. It's definitely a possibility because it's a popular series, but I have noticed that they've stopped adding books that are like super far along in a series to the nominees, so I think for that reason, let's get rid of that. You Must Remember This was buzzy at the beginning of the year, but kind of has gone away. I haven't heard... Sherry Lapina is a pretty popular author, but I just haven't heard that much. So I'm gonna ditch that one. Angel Maker... Alex North is a pretty well-known author, but I think not. The Chateau could be one of those like wild card ones, but I think... I'm gonna say no. I think I've got other viable options for that. And then John Grisham and so these two, both of these, I think very well could make the list purely based on the strength of how popular those authors are. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. I've got 12. Okay, so I need to call my maybes down to 8. So let's look at this. My gut is telling me that the Bandit Queens is going to be on here. I don't know why, but I just feel like that is going to be one of the wild card picks. I just feel it in my gut. Okay, so that's 7. I can still add 7 of these. I still have 18 books though I've got to call out. Okay, I think by the numbers and the groundswell of support, I think The Maid's Diary is going to make it. Okay. In my heart, I do think so. I think we can get rid of the Karen Slaughter. And I also think we can get rid of the Mary Kupika. I'm going to say we can get rid of Harlan and John Grisham. Because they've come, we'll just see. They're very popular, but I don't know. I just feel like maybe not this year. So then that means we still have... Okay, you know what? Let me do my quick lookup on everyone in my family has killed someone to see if, like, what is the US pub date for this? So hold please while I look up what the date situation is. Okay, I double checked. In the US, the hardcover for Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone came out on January 17th, 2023. So I'm going to say that it is going to get nominated. Its sequel isn't. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think it's eligible. Because if I'm remembering rightly from Ashley's video, it does specify it's the US pub date, not international. So I think it's going to be eligible and I think it's going to get nominated. That's my feeling about that. Okay. So, 5, 5, 5. Okay, so we have 5 more we can add. Let's talk through my intuition here. So I have a feeling that Jane Harper is going to get nominated just because she's been nominated so many times before. It's the 3rd book in a well-known, well-liked series. I just think it's going to happen. Like, that's my gut. And the same determination, I'm going to say Only Survivors is not. And even though The Stranger Upstairs, I got a copy of from Book of the Month because I was like, oh, I bet this is going to make it. I'm going to say I don't think it's going to make it. So I'm going to get rid of that. Similarly, well, okay. Got 4 more I can add. I'm going to say Bright Young Women hasn't had enough time, so let's get rid of that. I've seen Drowning on so many Goodreads lists, so I feel like it's going to be there. I also feel like Wrong Place, Wrong Time did so well last year and this was a Book of the Month Club add-on option, so I'm going to say that one's going to be there. So I've got 2 more I can add. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the Golden Spoon because I think we've already covered wild card picks. So let's get rid of that. Then I'm going to say I have some questions for you is going to be their Litfic mystery pick of the year. They usually have it and S.A. Cosby kind of covered the like highbrow mystery thriller component that I think they like to add in. So then I have 1 more. All 3 of these were Book of the Month Club picks. I'm just going to say Dark Corners because, well, am I though? The Villa did really well, and it came out early enough it's had a lot of readers. So I'm going to say The Villa. Am I though? I'm conflicted. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see any one of these 3 as sort of like a middle of the road Book of the Month Club mystery thriller pick that a lot of people read because it was in Book of the Month Club. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of The Villa, and I am gonna say Dark Corners. Why not? Okay. Intuitively, that feels right to me, but I might be wrong. Okay, so I think these are my top 20. So let's actually make these look nice real quick. This feels not right, but I think not far off. Like I know I'm not going to get all of these right, but I think I feel pretty good about this as a list, assuming, you know, that all of these end up being fully eligible, that none of the other ones I mentioned don't end up having like some kind of breakout moment where they gain a ton of readers or ratings overnight, and assuming that these all end up being considered as mystery thriller rather than general fiction or horror. So not perfect, but this looks pretty good. So I'll come back and fix this at the end when we look at the final view. Okay, so that's my top 20. Wow. Okay, I do, now that I'm seeing them laid out like this, I do feel pretty good about this as a prediction set. I think I'm not going to be like wildly off. but we'll see. If this is the list, let's see how screwed I am. 1, 2, 3, I've read 6 of these 20. So that means I would have 14 to read. Okay, well, but this, you know what, this is clarifying in terms of what I should maybe spend some time reading between now and when these get announced. Okay, so that's my prediction for top 20. Top 10, I think, will be a little easier. So the ones that I am like completely convinced are going to make the top 10, assuming that this is the top 20. Dude. Okay. Copy, paste. Let's see how many that is. 4. Oh, 9. Okay, so now I'm really just picking which is the last one. Oh, actually, why did I say the last word? I'm not convinced that that's a shoo-in. Okay, so 8. I'll tell you right now, I think it's either going to be All the Dangerous Things or Lisa Jewell who's going to win. I don't know which, but that is my prediction just based on popularity, number of readers. And if I had to pick one, I think I would say the Lisa Jewell. I feel like this is going to be her year to win. It's been a really well-received book. It's about a podcast. It was a Book of the Month Club pick. She's a well-known author who has like an established readership, but I feel like this is her breakout. In my heart, I feel like it's probably one of these two. Yeah, you know what? Let me also, I'm gonna rank these. I'm not only gonna predict the top 10, I'm gonna rank them. Okay. So I think these are gonna be 1 and 2. And I'm gonna say it's gonna be Lisa Jewell if I had to pick right now. So that's gonna be 1 and 2 in my opinion. These are the other, the only one left. Okay, assuming that it makes this category. I'm gonna put the Last Devil to, nope, it's a 4th in a series. So that, okay. I'm gonna put the only one left as number 3. Because this did so well last year, I'm gonna put this at number 4. I'm gonna put the Soulmate there, Vera Wang, yes. Okay, so those are my top, those are the 8. I'm not sure about the ranking I'll have down here at the bottom. So now I've got to pick the last 2 that I'm going to say make the top 10. If this is the list, what are the last 2? Oh, I think The Housemaid's Secret does. If this is the list. And actually, I'll bump this and put that as number 7. What else? One more. What else is going to round out this top 10? I don't think it'll be 0 Days. I don't think it'll be Exiles. I don't think it'll be Drowning. Okay, I'm looking at The Maid's Diary, Last Word, and maybe Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. Okay, so I think it's going to be one of those 3. I think whatever it is, it's going to be towards the bottom. I do, based on the strength of how many ratings and how good the buzz is on TikTok in particular, I'm gonna say The Maid's Diary does make it, and I'm gonna put it as, well, now I'm questioning if all the sinners bleed. Okay, I'm between all, okay. I'm gonna put What Lies in the Woods as number 8. Is that number 8? Yeah, that's number 8. I'm going to say Maid's Diary is number 9, and between The Last Word and All the Sinners Bleed is number 10. Because I think the Book of the Month Club pick aspect, actually, did All the Sinners Bleed make Book of the Month Club now that I'm thinking about that? Because it's possible. Am I losing it? I didn't think it did, but maybe. Okay, October, September, June, May. No, okay. I think because it was not a Book of the Month Club pick, I'm going to say The Last Word is going to round it out at number 10. But does that look right, or does that, if only this was a top 11, because I think that I feel good about this as the set of books to consider. The Last Word or All the Sinners Bleed. What is the rating like on, I'm going to look up the rating. Said I wasn't, but I am. What is the rating like on all the, because I've just assumed all year long that I'm going to have to read that book. So I've honestly not paid attention to how it's being received because I'm like, well, I'm going to have to read that. Okay. It has a 4.3, 22,000 ratings versus The Last Word, which is a much more divisive book. The Last Word is very metatextual and it has a 3.78. Okay, so you know what? Let's go with Mara's original. It has slightly more ratings, but I think S.A. Cosby, it's a better received book. And if, you know, I have some questions for you, doesn't make it, this is sort of the more like lit ficky pick. Okay. So this is what I think my top 10 is, guys. I'll clean it up and show it to you here. This is what I'm thinking is gonna be my fate. So you know, there's some good news and some bad news in here. This is assuming that some of my worst bad news ones don't make it. So, but I think actually if this ended up being my list, while not all of these are things I would like actively choose to read, I wouldn't be mad at any, like I wouldn't, this isn't the worst scenario, I guess. So I guess I should be thankful for that. And considering that I do own the only one left, and I've got the Richard Osman, those prequels to those out right now, I think that's where we're gonna focus in October, trying to get through those. And I think, actually, you know what? I also own Just Another Missing Person, so maybe I'll go ahead and read that. Okay. Some direction for me. Like I said, please check out Meg and Ashley's videos. They're much more educated than mine. This is just my guesses. So we'll see. And actually, now that I've talked through this, I completely need to rethink the intro I filmed, making some vague predictions, because I think I disagree with those now. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any of these categories that you are planning on reading, or what category of the Goodreads Choice Awards you are going to be looking most closely at. And yeah, I think that will do it for me. So if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I think that that will do it. I hope you're having an absolutely lovely day today, and I will just talk to you soon. Bye!